Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series Storm Division Qualifier number 3. My name is Bahamut. We find ourselves here on Cursed Hollow for game number 1. But if you're sitting at home and you're like, man, that was a sexy intro, thank you so much, NGS, for making that and giving it to all the casters for free, but I want to know how we got to Cursed Hollow. I got you covered, my friends. The home team this evening is going to be the members of Brawl is Life. They are going to go ahead and opt for first pick priority in game number 1. They banned out Braxis, Holdout, and Sky Temple. Tomb of the Spider Queen and Dragon Shower were banned out by the members of Old School Boys. And so, since Matt pick priority is going to go over to the side of Old School Boys who don't really want to fit in that little Nexagon, I'll fix that later. They'll be choosing Cursed Hollow for our first map. So let's go ahead and get on back into our draft and see what we have thus far. As we do see a Deckard Cain and a Lost Vikings being banned out immediately. There we go. Just gonna fix my mic a little bit. I didn't realize it was that close to my face, but I don't think it needs to be. I think we're good. I don't think Windows messed with our levels. I think all of the draft audio is good and everything. Mikey, Lazy Hydra, good to see all of you. Thanks for coming by. We have a lot of great action for you all this evening, so thanks for hanging out. And Lazy Hydra, thank you so much for the resubscription. Thank you for using your Prime here for 9 months. Thank you for all the support, my friend. Our Bahamu baby. I don't know. Either way, thank you so much for the supporting, and thanks for hanging out, everyone. Let's go ahead and get into this Cursed Hollow draft. We have a Deckard Cain and a Lost Vikings ban, as they don't want to deal with the global threat, as well as Deckard Cain overall, just on this map, or any map, whereas point controller, there's kind of a contest over a certain area for a prolonged amount of time. That's really where Deckard Cain starts to get value, so, you know, with Ruby value specifically, and later in the game as well, if you go into Bottomless Flask, or if you just go into Perfect Gems, both of those are devastating talents for either the Super Potions if you go into that, or if you're going to be going into Ruby at level 4. But regardless, that was an ETC Cassia ban. Cassia actually making it, well, not making it into many games that I've been casting as of late. She seemingly is just high priority ban for a lot of teams, and I don't blame them. She's really strong in the current meta. Greymane for the left-hand side, so we might see a little bit of a dive comp come out from them. We could actually see something like a Diablo. I really like this. The Stukov as well is really cool. So what they're going to be going for here is they're going to go for the Diablo Shadow Charge in. They get the slam onto the wall. They overpower. When that overpower is happening, even before that, when the Shadow Charge is happening, Sweet Buns is probably going to be screaming, I'm looking for an E, or I'm Eing, or whatever, I'm Shadow Charging. And then that Stukov will say, all right, cool, I'm going to put my Lurking Arm right underneath where they're supposed to be. So let's say it's a Tassadar, and let's say it's not Dimensional Sift, it's something, it's like, it's the Stealth Talent at level 13, I think it is. I can't remember off the top of my head, or it's 16. Either way, they wouldn't be able to use that because Lurking's arm is there, and then Greymane can dive with Diablo. It's just a really well-rounded draft so far from them. On the opposing side, Tassadar has amazing poke. Scaling from Tassadar into the late game is very powerful. Twilight Archon burst potential and self-shielding, and just the amount of time you can keep that up is just devastating. The Force Wall is baseline, so you have a lot of tools with that as well to be able to maybe block someone who dives a little too far forward, like a Greymane or a Diablo. And then you have Joanna for overall control and the blinds into the Greymane. So there's really strong drafts thus far, as we do have that Imperious being banned out on the right-hand side, and we do have an Anduin banned on the left. So the Imperious would pair well with this dive composition on the left-hand side for Brawl is Life, and the Anduin is just a really good healer for the side of Old School Boys. The reason we're saying this Anduin is the strong factor due to the fact that this is a dive comp, so they can play this a little bit more on the defensive side, in the sense that Anduin can then use the pull to maybe save someone who gets dove on by the Diablo and is getting shredded by the Greymane. So, and this is where we're seeing, you know, the Blaze coming in here. You can play this aggressive and also defensive still. You have the availability to be able to jet propulsion and get an AoE stun maybe on someone who's being dove, and that allows them to get out. Raynor has the penetrating round for knockback, but let's also talk about the fact that you have range poke with that. You have good siege with Hyperion, you have good poke potential and good sustained damage with Banshee at level 10 for Raynor, and you also have Exterminator at level 1 to be able to clear out camps, clear out waves, and push things up a lot quicker. Ace in the Hole is an option as well, but Exterminator seems to be the new jam as of late. Dahaka will be grabbed for their solo lane to be able to just push up waves very quickly, but also every 75 seconds, or excuse me, they have a 75-second cooldown on the brush stalk, so they're able to then meander around the map a little bit quicker, and they have that speed boost through the bushes. And a Sylvanas to be rounding things out. Dives well, just a lot of good damage, sustained chase. I like this overall coming out from the side of Brawl is Life. Old School Boys will round out their composition with an Alex Straza. Her Royal Thickness will make it into this, and she's always been considered very, very strong on point control based maps. And this isn't so much point control based, but it is going to be objective based where you do have to brawl over it for an extended period of time. That is when Alexstrasza in the Dragon Queen form really gets a lot of value in my opinion. So I like this a ton. I think so far both teams have drafted phenomenal compositions, and I think it's going to come down to just who's able to execute, you know, is the dive composition going to be able to execute into this kind of control, sustained damage, a little bit of burst. I like it overall. This is such an exciting game here. By the way, once again, shout out to NGS for just some of the best assets. Thank you so much. Strange, how you doing? Oh, Day, how's it going? Good to see you. Ara, good to see you as well. All the sweet people are in chat. Good to see all of you. Thank you for hanging out. But seriously, these assets are amazing. Like, I was going through them today, adding them in, and I was just like, oh my god, there's so many cool things I can do with this. So during my lunch break, I spent an hour just like programming my stream deck just for tonight's broadcast. I'm loving it. But as always, we have to have some goose in there as well. For anyone wondering, this is going to also be 2 best-of-3s this evening. So we've got Brawl is Life versus Old School Boys, and then I think we're following the winner of this into another match. We'll look at the bracket after this game. We're not concerned about that right now. We're mostly concerned with this. Usually when a game's hanging this long, there's someone who DC'd at the start. So they might have someone trying to reconnect currently, and that's why it's hanging for a couple seconds. Think we might have got them in. We might see a DC immediately when we get into this game. Maybe not. Either way, let's go ahead and get on into it. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Brawl is Life. Vivanaki? I think. I don't think I'm right on that. Is going to be on the Stukov. Drunk Dwarf will be on that. Dahaka. Death Strikes will be on the Greymane. Sweet Buns will be on that Diablo. And Ryokai will be on the Sylvanas. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Old School Boys. Blaucha, I think it is. Or it's Luch, or I think it's Blaucha. I was Blaucha. Is going to be on that. Joanna, we have Storm on the Blaze. We've got the Max on Tassadar. Villado, I believe it is going to be on the Alexstrasza, and we have Raynor being played by Silent. Let's go ahead and check out our mid lane, as it actually is no engagement. They're immediately going to dive up here, and they're just going to burn through the front tower. And this is considered, in a sense, cheese, you could say. Like, a lot of teams, like when I play with teams, are just like, if there's a Sylvanas and we don't see them in mid lane for the first little brawl, they're just like, what are they cheesing first? And in a sense, they are going to be able to burn down that tower. This is going to be able to give Dahaka a little bit of an advantage in the solo lane. Actually, it looks like Dahaka on the left-hand side of our screen will be brush talking to bottom lane, making sure they're not going to miss out on experience. But since they counted everyone up here, they might be able to push this wave into the front gate, mitigating some experience to the enemy team. And this is very minimal. Like, one wave isn't the biggest thing on the in the world, but it is still one wave of experience missing. Look at Drunk Dwarf actually going to be harassing Silent. This is a really interesting solo lane tactic, because right there they were just trying to deny them any of the I want to say regeneration globes, but the experience globes on the ground, and they do pick up a couple, but slight advantage could have been gained right there, as Storm is just like, I have no interest in brawling against you and Sweet Buns, or Viv and Sweet Buns right now. We'll just go with Viv, that's easier. Still of cheese, yes. Shout out to Weenus and Murda for the quick turnaround on these assets. Thank you for letting me know who did those, because I want to be able to shout them out, because yes. That intro, the 30-second stinger before we get into the game, is such a cool production. Oh my god, I'm sorry, like, we need to talk about the game, but I just, like, that intro, like, when I watched it today, I was like, this is the coolest thing. I love this so much. Also, please don't judge me for doing my assets today, day of. I'm totally not a project day of person, just lot of stuff going on right now. 4 up on both sides in a second here. Storm gets a jet propulsion in. I think this Joanna doesn't... No, they don't get a kill. Yeah, Rio's going to be able to get the Banshees right out of there, and they're going to be fine for now. We do have 4s up and camp for mid lane. We do have the top lane being pushed up, but it looks like this Joanna wants to stop that, and Tassadar just going to be focusing on clearing this out. Force wall, it's going to push actually Rio to the far side of that, and they don't have any sort of setup right there. Mid lane continues to, though, have the camp being pushed out. Death Strikes will be helping Viv clear this out a little bit quicker. Viv does do a lot of damage, but those auto attacks do take the longest in the game, if I'm not mistaken. It's like Stukov, then Leoric, I think, for auto attack base speed. I feel like No, I'm going to say I'm right on that one. Usually I feel like I'm wrong, but that one I feel like I'm right on. Someone in chat will correct me in a minute, I know it. Just... Lurking Arm out, they're gonna force back the Johanna. There was a bit of a dive with the Diablo, and somehow they get the overpower back over the wall, and they find the kill. Rhea also got the tower down as well, so now they can push in that front gate, and with the Tacit are down for the next 10 seconds, they might try and poke at this. Shield Glare actually won't have the range they need, and Death Strikes gets the channel. Jet Propulsion from Blaze or any sort of Flame Strikes or anything wasn't available due to the fact that they were just still mid-rotation. And Dahaka gonna do Dahaka things in bottom lane. Drunk Dwarf, actually, that's a really, it's a little thing. If you're a Dahaka player, it's actually a smart tactic to do. So typically, you see them do it in this range right now. What they're trying to do is just drag these Siege Giants closer to the gate, so the gate will burn them down a lot faster. Dahaka does have good wave clear, but the towers are obviously going to be a lot faster than Dahaka, so that right there is just a little tactic for yourselves. If you ever are clearing against someone who does have this range poke, like Silent, or a Rainer, for example, or maybe a Phoenix, that's just something you can do to kind of keep yourself safe. You just pull the wave. You might take some auto attack damage, but it's better than clearing against them and sustain taking that damage as they find a second kill here. That's going to push them up a solid level lead. They're a little bit less than a level, but actually will be Rainer going down below our screen. I just missed that as they have a third kill and a solid level lead now, and they get the second channel right now. Just going to look really quickly. Does Dahaka have Brush Stock? It is off cooldown, so they could look to Brush Stock into top lane and immediately go for that experience. And you can see that right there. This is a really, really good example, and I feel like I'm saying this a lot, but there's just a lot of good examples in these higher tier games that we can kind of extract from and kind of even take into our own games. Like, that right there is, there's every reason to brush stock into top lane. Like, there's no reason to sit there and maybe pushes all 4 or 5 in the bottom lane because you're Dahaka. You should be splitting. Now, granted, it looks like, no, they're just double soaking, actually. I was looking to see they're coming down to this bottom lane fight, but no, they're just like, their experience is our main gain, and we're going to keep that by having our double soaker basically double soak. And Dahaka doesn't have a mount, but they can get that speed boost through the bushes right there. So as long as they're tapping those bushes, they do get a slight speed boost. It's a little under than the mounted speed, but you could go into the enhanced agility, which they did, which will increase that even further. So I think you can get like 140, I think it maxes out at. Hold on, let me look. What is it off of? Is it this? Yeah, so you basically have a max of 140%. The base, the mounted move speed is 130%. So you basically have a 10 extra. I think it's just as fast as On a Pale Horse for Malthael. Basically, as long as you're tapping bushes, or yeah. Right? Or is Malthael's 150 or something crazy? Ektar, thank you for redeeming the treat. Kalis, good to see you. Mr. Wilbus as well. Phantom Phil, how are you? Good to see everyone in chat. We have a bit of a delay tonight, so I'm trying to focus on the game this evening a little bit. Last night we had fun. Tonight I'm gonna try and be a semi-serious, trying to be semi-professional caster. But thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for the support. And we'll chat and stuff in between games. That's going to be a not a mid lane, but the middle of the lane Hearth out. They're going to go for boss right now. This is typically advised against due to the fact that you're now spending time where you could be pushing structures to where you're getting a boss. But here's the thing. You have Dahaka in top lane pushing, getting a fort. You have Diablo in bottom lane. Not the quickest sieger, but does have a wave as well. So this is still working out for them, and so they're going to be at least having boss through bottom lane. As long as Diablo gets out, this is a massive win for them. They should be able to do exactly that. Boss is going to be down here, and I'm wondering, okay, no, they're going to be going for the mid lane fort. They're going to let Boss do its thing in bottom, and now we can actually see the vision for the blue team right now. This is the vision of of Brawl's life, and they can count 1, 2, 3, 4 in this bottom lane, so they're not too concerned. Actually, Diablo going to grab the vision, or the eye, if you will, just to make sure they have more control across the map. That's a mid lane fort going down, bottom lane fort low. The boss might slap it down here. It's going to be close. It actually might live with a bit of a sliver, and with that, they say, cool, curse is going to end in 10 seconds. We're going to go grab the boss. Now, this is typically when it is advised to grab the boss. You know, you've pushed it out. You've seen where the enemy team was last. They're across the map. You can rush for this boss, and they will try and come in for this, though. They don't have the... They don't burn through it immediately, but look at this. Sweet Buns is anchoring for the friendly team, and now we can still go back to their vision because I want to kind of show this. Blaze gets the oil in, but they're a little too late. I thought they would make it in time. Johanna might be in a bit of a rough spot. Sweet Buns stepping in. Lucha, I think, is... Oh, no, the tongue drag from Drunk Dwarf onto Johanna will get them the overpower into the Lurking arm from Stukov will confirm a second kill. That's Boss plus the camp for mid lane right now in favor for the side of Brawl is Life. And for a team whose name is Brawl is Life, I don't think it's so much the mode as it is what they want to do in these games, which is brawl and take the fight to the team. And I mean, with the Diablo, Greymane, Sylvanas, that's definitely the case right now. Bottom lane fort very, very low, but they're not going to be getting that. And they're not concerned about that. They're looking for a keep in mid. The big thing here is obviously passive experience gain, but on top of that is the consistent catapult pressure. This is a little weary and a little worrisome as they're going to be locked down in front of that keep. That Stukov going down first as they were aggroed on, they're aggroed by the keep itself. Ryokai is locked down for a second. There was one that was low, but I think it might have been a bait as Rio does get the Banshees out of there. And I think they lose one and they get a whole lot as the Haka goes and clears out bottom lane. Bahamut. The only exception is Nova with anti-armor cells. It reduces her speed by 60% with without that. Stukov is the slowest attack speed. I think Hanzo. I think it might be like, I think it might be Stukov, Leoric, Hanzo. Yeah, my whole thing is like baseline without any sort of talent adjustments. Because Hanzo then could technically, you could argue he's faster or slow, you know, because of redemption at level 1. But either way, Sweet Buns finds the shadow charge. And they just disengage. Camp will be grabbed for mid lane, camp to be grabbed for top lane, and the macro and micro pressure coming out from the members of Brawl's Life is a little oppressive. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little terrifying. They're constantly just across the map. You saw them just grab a bunch of camps, and now they have 4 in bottom lane. I mean, granted, yes, this camp right here, that rotation's not too out of the question, but at the same time, it's just like, you see all these camps being popped, you don't expect them to be collapsing this quickly on just one person in a lane. Very, very well played. The shot calling is clear, and the members of Brawl's Life really, really want to go up in our series right now. You get like some teams I actually see a lot of the time will like waffle right now. They'll play around the curse. They'll sit in bushes. They'll wait for the enemy team. They won't push up like this. They won't step this far up into the lane. They'll maybe threaten the gate, but that's about it. Greymane is going to be going and grabbing the objective. So right now they're going to probably play this a little passive, a little slow. They still have 13 talent tier advantage. They won't have 16s to the enemy's 12, so it will be at least even talent tier for a few moments. And while that happens, they're like, all right, we're going to back out, and Greymane's going to get some experience in top to Haka to do the same in bottom. Not to harp too much on it, but it's just one of those things. Old school boys are being forced back quite a bit here, and I was just looked over at my stream deck and I forgot we did not cycle through any of the other numbers. So if you're curious as to what those are, let's get those in front of you now for the damage, experience, and healing that has happened thus far in game 1 of our first of 2 best of 3s. Banshee scouting out, but they don't care about the Banshee. They get the tongue drag. That's going to be an Apocalypse as well. Bunker drop just in time. Storm trying to get the jet propulsion, going to be pulled around. Greymane dives in with the Curse Bullet, and they find a single target kill onto the Blaze right there as they continue to push in through bottom lane. Tassadar throws a shock ray out just to force back the enemy team. Deathstrike still getting the autos in. They're going to lock down the towers for a couple seconds here with the trait from Ryokai. Those black wings did end, so that trait does end as well. They should be able to get the front gate here. Diablo shadow charges in, looking to press onto the enemy team with a force wall from Tassadar. I believe a Blessed Shield came out from the Joanna as they're just stepping into this backline, but they are very far from their friendly team. They end up going down. That's a double overall, but Blaze is just now back as the death timers are not that low. We also do have Tribute spawning in the next 6 seconds, and with that, they say, you know what, we got the Joanna, we got the Blaze, they're already back up, it's not worthwhile, or maybe it is. They're feigning that they're going to be going to objective. And I don't think they saw them through the wave, but that is still going to be one of those situations where they're not taking aggressive rotation. They need to be very careful here. Oh, you know what it is? It's the Banshee. That's what it was. The Banshee did scout them out. I was like, what did they see for a second that just gave them such a scare that they just immediately just like 180'd away? But yeah, it's exactly that. The Banshee did scout it out. The objective does go over to the side of Brawl's Life, and they will look at a 3rd boss of the game overall, prepping for the next objective to be in this top right position. This is favorable towards the side of Old School Boys, but the issue for Old School Boys right now, they're down a solid level and that talent tier. That level needs to be found, and the unfortunate factor here is the announcement for this curse isn't too far off. They're very, very close together. That's going to be a Shadow Charge. Iron Skin is going to be used, and they disengage. There's the announcement for the objective, as we noted beforehand. Boss is working its way through bottom lane, going to slap for 545 in auto. We'll see what happens. What's up, Trainwreck? Deathwing might be up there too. His auto attack speed is hecka slow, yeah. That is, that's going to be a Sylvanas getting picked off. There was a Curse Bolt that did go out. Velato is going to get picked off in the trade here. Bunker does come down from the Blaze. Does save the Johanna from some damage for now, as Diablo, I think, Shadow Charged onto the wall just to be able to get closer to them as they mount up, turn around, go for the Curse. This is going to be boss slapping, keeping bottom lane. They have a Force Wall and a Shock Ray. Sorry, I was reading chat for 1 second because I was just like, what's Trainwreck talking about with basic attack damage? Yeah. We were talking about the slowest auto attacker in the game because I mentioned at the start of this game I thought it was Stukov, and I was like, wait a minute, and I was like, no, it is baseline without any trait adjustments. It is Stukov, the slowest auto attack in the game. And then we were just starting to discuss who's maybe second and third kind of sort of deal. But the members of Brawl's Life step towards this core. They're going to be taking the reduction in their armor. Grammy needs to watch out for that because that is a whole lot of armor reduction. Overpower before they get the Shock Ray out, and this is just so much harassment onto the Max as they have a lot of damage onto the core from the Greymane itself specifically. But that will be game 1 in our first best 3 over to the side of Brawl's Life. GG, well played. Look at these assets. Chat. Look at these assets. Look at that. Did you see that? Did you see how beautiful that was? Weenus and Murda made those. 0.67 is Deathwing's auto attack speed. Rio 4 core, bad trade. Yeah. Stukov, Deathwing, Hanzo all have 0.6. Wait, really? They're all the same, Ektar? Really? Today I learned. Really? So it's not just Stukov. Okay. See, I knew I was wrong. I said it. I said it I was just like, chat's gonna correct me on this. Okay, so it's Stukov, Deathwing, and Hanzo. Today I learned. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was getting pinged in general. They're like, the next map is this, and I was like, I am just but a poor cat. I do not think it. What are these? Are these Weenus assets? Yeah, the little stingers and the just like all the little assets we have for the Storm Division. Those are all Mr. Wanus. Like this, like. It didn't go this time. Why didn't you go? Hold on. Wait, why'd you go then? Hold on. I thought I got it completely, like, fiddle-faddled fixed. No. Alright, I gotta fix that. Alright. I gotta fix one thing. Not too bad. Not too bad. Like, for only one thing to break in the broadcast, that's not too bad, right? Sorry, we are on this map for map number 2. It's picked by them, and it's map 2. Yeah. Cool, that's set. Let me do one thing. That's all good. Team score on the... Oh, God, I have to swap these. These are driving me nuts. Team score left side is up 1. Okay. NA, Caster, R, Spooky Worm. There's only one asset we need, it's Bandicam? Yeah. Alright, before we swap over, let's give him that treat from Ektar. Right, Ektar? Yeah, Ektar gave the treat. Thank you so much, Ektar, for giving the treat for Bandit. Poorly plays.
Subscribe.
My cat watches your streams with laser focus.
Poorly plays, thank you for the 7 months. My cat watches your streams with laser... Well, I'm glad. I'm glad your cat enjoys my streams. Let's go ahead and get on and do it. All right, let's see. Does this one work? Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that. Welcome back, everybody, to the Nexus Gaming Series Storm Division Qualifier. Number 3, on the left-hand side, we have the members of Brawl's Life, and on the right is going to be the Old School Boys. And I'm sure you're sitting at home wondering, wait a minute, Bahamut, my cat's watching this and wondering how we got here, and I got you covered. Home team this evening will be the members of Brawl's Life. They opted for first pick priority for game number 1. They banned out Braxis Holdout and Sky Temple. Tomb of the Spider Queen and Dragonshy were banned out by the members of Old School Boys. Cursed Hollow was the first map chosen by excuse me, Cursed Hollow was the first map chosen by Old School Boys, and they lost that. They opted for map pick priority here for game number 2, and that is going to be Volskaya Foundry, chosen by Old School Boys. Let's go back to our draft and find out what we have here now. Turboblade, how you doing? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just happy I can give bandit treats again. Everyone is. I'm happy about it as the dog owner. I felt bad the entire time. I take him on a walk and we get back home and I'm like, I'm sorry, bud. I can give you pets and love, but I can't like give you a treat, unfortunately. We do see a respect ban onto the Tassadar from the last game, but other than that, everything is pretty much the same. I think it was not Volskaya. It was the Lost Vikings is pretty much the only difference between these two drafts or these two ban phases from the last game. Ana will be the first pick on the left-hand side. Not bad whatsoever. You have a lot of different avenues you can go with that. You can go Nano Boost. You can go Eye of Horus if you really wanted to go. If you wanted to snipe. If you wanted to be, you know, the North American sniper. But I don't know. It's probably going to be Nano Boost with a Jaina or something like that. They honestly, they could Diablo here again. They could Diablo Jaina right now, and that would be such a core strong draft. The Diablo was great in the last game. Jaina's got the burst. Nano Boost the Jaina. Ooh, so no shadow charge and stuff like that. But they're just gonna walk their booty in and just be like, look at me, and then everyone attacks Garrosh. So I like that, and then Gramming to be grabbed. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking at a Jaina. Like, I know I keep harping on this, but like, if you have a giant AoE taunt on a point control based map, I would expect Water Elemental or Ring of Frost to be devastating. Now, granted, I will say this. Volskaya is a very, very popular map for Mephisto, so we could actually see a Mephisto ban here. Actually, Mephisto would be great. There's the Jaina ban, but I wonder if they Mephisto on the side of Brawl's Life, because that's a really, like, I think the Mephisto works out perfectly for them. My cat only speaks German, so say it again so he can understand. Was ist das? Nein sprechen Deutsch. I think? Right? No speak German? Sorry. Anduin to be banned on the left-hand side. They do need a healer, and that might be a target ban towards maybe Velato or something like that. Now we do have a Sylvanas in the Johannes. They've got push pressure with the Sylvanas. They've got good wave clear, or at least wave clear setup. They're still gonna need, I think, a little wave clear. Like a Hanzo wouldn't be bad with explosive air at level 4 to give them said wave clear. Also gives them some extra damage they need, and then they can maybe look at their healer as well with that. A Stukov's not a bad idea whatsoever, and they're gonna go for the Blaze again for the solo lane. Okay, so they did show their solo lane. Typically when you have last pick, a lot of teams will often leave their solo lane for the last pick, so that way they literally can see the entire enemy team's draft and be like, all right, cool, it looks like they have less wave clear, so instead of going into maybe Malthael, maybe I'll lean into Leoric, or, you know, vice versa, like, oh, you know, they're a little beefier, but, you know, I'll just pick Malthael. It's I don't know, it's just one of those things that, like, just to consider. Like, I don't know if Blaze would have been contested here. Actually, it could have been contested. I think they could have absolutely grabbed it, but Yrel will be grabbed, and there's going to be the mage that probably will be Nano Boost. It's going to be that Orphea. Last pick on the right-hand side. They still needed a little extra wave clear here. A mage wouldn't be a bad idea. Something like a Li Ming isn't horrible, but then again, like, that doesn't really offer much into the wave clear department. So Kael'thas is an option. I don't know. It's just it's feeling a little responsive on the side of Old School Boys. Okay. Not the biggest wave clear, but a lot of good damage. And it's not like their wave clear is awful. It's just I felt like they might need something like a Kael'thas with the Flame Strike, or Gul'dan with the Fell Flame, or just, you know, something like that. But the Dragon's Eye does deal some decent damage to the minion waves, so they should be able to clear through that. I don't know. Either way, I'm excited for it. This will be a good game. Maybe it's Shrek. I don't remember anything from my birth. I don't even know. I learned French in high school. No, in middle school. And then I forgot most of it. And then I learned Spanish in high school, and then I forgot most of it. Then I learned Spanish again in college. Forgot most of it. Now I'm learning Japanese through Duolingo, and guess what? I'll probably forget most of it. If Hedgie was here, Hedgie could correct us all, because Hedgie, like, duo majored in, like, programming. No, in I think it was computer programming and German, I think. I think that's what he double majored in. I can't remember. Might actually still be moving right now. Either way, let's go ahead and get into game. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Brawl's Life trying to take this in a 2-0 fashion. We are going to be seeing Death Strikes on the Grey Mane, Sweet Buns on that Garrosh, Viv will be on the Ana, Drunk Dwarf on the Urel, and Ryokai on that Orphea. On the right-hand side, we got the members of the Old School Boys trying to take us to a game number 3. Velato on that Stukov. Silent will be on the Chromie. The Max is going to be on the Sylvanas. OS Blaucha, I think it is. I think it's Blaucha. Will be on the Joanna, and NF Storm, or just Storm, is going to be on that Blaze. Let's get into mid lane and check out our first engagement, as well as some of our level 1s. No cheese this time, per se, from Sylvanas. They're not going to be going up to a tower to burn that down. Also, by the way, sorry, I just saw it in chat. Kalis, thank you for translating the Here's the Storm thing. I was staring at it last night, and I was like, I know like one of the kanji, but I couldn't remember the kanji, and I was just like, all right, I don't remember what this is. I'm gonna go to bed. But thank you for clarifying that. I forgot that I didn't respond to you in the Discord. But either way, Garrosh checks the bush and checks the bush into the enemy team. A lot of damage coming out. They're gonna live for now. There's actually a razor swipe backwards from Death Strikes. I think it was more of a disengage tool. Maybe it was a misclick in the direction, but either way, that still does give him a little bit of space. Urel doing a little bit of double soak just to make sure they don't fall behind in any way, shape, or form. They also do need to go ahead and split off and grab camps. You can actually see them doing a safer rotation on the right-hand side. Not going to be rotating through the middle of the map, but that will be Grey Mane grabbing the camp on the left-hand side, and Stukov and Sylvanas on the right. Shield Glare just to double-check the bush, as Stukov also used the weighted Pushtul, so just making sure that no one was waiting in that bush for a potential invade onto the camp. And Drunk Dwarf is slowly pushing this wave. I talked about this last night in the Nexus Combine, but I want to talk about it a little bit again. Just the idea of freezing the wave. And this is a concept that I've been learning more and more as I played more and more League, and was just like kind of just messing around that game. You don't have to push the wave in every single time. You don't have to constantly, you know, kill the minions and dominate the lane. You can play this slower, so that way the wave slowly works towards your gate, and you could potentially have your friendly members rotate down and maybe get a gank on someone who's a little too far forward. That's why you see Blaze just throw a little bit of damage out, gets a little bit of damage onto the tower itself, and backs off. Because if they were to step towards this kind of middle of the map, the equator, if you will, then they are kind of stepping to the aggressive side, meaning that they do have a longer disengage path in that lane to get back to a safer side. So it's just one of those things that they're considering, and they're also playing against in this slight freeze. It's very much more apparent in League of Legends, because the clearing of the waves takes a lot longer, so you can really punish that and really play around that factor. As first blood does go over to Brawl's Life, as Orphea finds a snipe onto the Dread, and they will be able to get a pick onto the Sylvanas with that one, and also claim over the biotic emitter for this first objective phase, which will be announced right now, and we're gonna have that up and available here in 30 seconds.
For combat in the Nexus. Prepare for field testing.
I can read Konnichiwa. Watashi wa Kirasu desu doso yokoshiu. Yeah, it gets hard for me towards the end. But I'm getting there, you know? I planned to go snowboarding in Japan in a couple years with one of my friends, so I was like, I'll start learning now because it's a complex language. We'll see if that even happens. Dear Lord, did Orphea get shredded, and I said that they had the biotic emitter for the first objective. Not anymore. They're gonna drop that right there, and that is gonna be the Joanna on the point, and the initial charge will go over to the side of Old School Boys. A very, very cool turnaround in their favor right there. Sweet Buns, looking, maybe just looking for a stack on their level 1. They're walking up, yeah, okay, they're still gonna throw the Joanna, which is interesting. They have that biotic grenade to reduce some of the healing out. Urel jumps out. They do drop the biotic emitter on the ground just to make sure. And I don't know if they were actually really cared about getting the kill onto the Joanna so much as it was just trying to bait the item out of them so they don't have it for the Brawl. But now control goes back over to the side of Brawl's Life, and the Old School Boys just rotating around and clearing out as I missed the Chromie kill. Apparently Ryokai finds another snipe with that one. Kalis, I see. Either way. A little bit of poke back and forth. They're going to be able to grab the camp, and they're actually going to... They didn't leave anyone on this. This is a little surprising. I guess they just don't really have too much to... They're not too worried? I don't know. Might have been a missed call. That was an odd one. I typically like someone still on that point, or maybe they just wanted to grab both camps and pushes all 5, so no one's just sitting on camp while the Triglav comes down. That could be exactly it. We'll have to see. Storm is going to be on the point right there. They are going to be getting thrown around. There's going to be one fortification camp. Sylvanas did go into the... That's going to be Blaze going down as well as the Grey Man. I could not think of Mercenary Queen for some reason, but either way, the reason that one of the fortification camps grew in size is because Mercenary Queen does affect it by that 60%, so it is one of the other reasons a lot of people do prioritize Sylvanas on this map, is not only her push prowess, but also the availability of empowering the camps to be able to push in lanes or even utilize them during these team fight moments. But we're seeing pretty much the standard from a Triglav Protector. Very quick front gate in mid lane, and they're going to rotate through this top. Typically, they actually rotate the Triglav Protector towards this upper portion near the front wall, and the reason they're doing this is because, one, it gets the gunner closer towards this well, and two, it gets the gunner closer towards this well. The big thing with the first Triglav Protector is removing the well in top lane. And if anyone's wondering, like, wait, why are wells such a priority in upper tier player, just in this match or on this map, or in general at all, wells are lane sustain. So here, while we have the end of this Triglav Protector, let's talk about lane sustain during the objective phase B, because we can talk about the fight instead when that's happening rather than macro and micro control. For control point B, if you're sitting on the side of the blue team, you can easily rotate around, tap well, get back to the fight. For the enemy team, if you need to do that during control point B phase, you have to rotate all the way back to your keep in top lane or all the way down to mid lane fort. It's rare, but a really good Triglav Protector can get both wells in top and mid. I've seen it once or twice, but it is just very rare where they basically get a massive wipe and they have a lot of free pressure, so you can double kind of push the lanes in a sense. It's just that phasing really works out for them because, well, they got a massive wipe. Either way, that whole point aside, what I wanted to get at is just lane control is now a little bit more in favor for the members of Brawl's Life during that next objective phase. Eternal Feast comes out as the 10 talent tiers are going to be here on both sides. We have this point under contest. That's going to be Grey Mane getting very low and going down. That will be the trade onto the Joanna. Bunker did come out. Silent will be potentially thrown. There's a Decimate Garrosh. I want to point that out. There's no Warlord's Challenge. Axe go Burr in this map as Drunk Dwarf leaps over and Silent should be going down to them, and that is going to be a 1-for-2 overall over the Biotic Emitter, and I believe that was Drunk Dwarf picking that up in the end. Worked out very well for Brawl's Life. Ryokai vibing on Orphea like Cat Jam. I will be honest, I've seen a lot of Ryokai, like I've casted a lot of them. This is probably the most comfortable I've seen Ryokai in a very long time on a hero. Like, not in the sense that like they ever look like uncomfortable or anything, but it's just like, I don't know, everything's landing right for them, if that makes any sense. Like, you ever play a hero and it's just like you're literally just cat jamming. Like you'll get killed here and there. You're gonna drop an Eternal Feast and hopefully live through all this. That's gonna be the Indomitable out from Garrosh. Eternal Feast still going out. They just tried to keep that going, as I was talking about how much I was liking that, but maybe they literally sacrifice themselves as Decimate is getting a reset after reset. No one actually goes down. The Max is able to get out with a sliver of health, but Storm ends up going down. There's another Decimate. Silence goes down as well. Max might be chasing in. Sweep Bun's a little bit low. Biotic Emitter on the ground in favor for the members of Brawl's Life. Urel jumps in, doesn't have the Righteous Hammer. Flailing Swipe from Stukov for the disengage tool. That's a 1-for-2. But cast or curse myself, the moment I start complimenting someone on their hero looking comfortable, they just get annihilated on screen. But either way, my whole point stands. Rio's just having a very comfortable and good game, and chat's even noticing it as well. 13-11 when it comes to our levels, so talent tier advantage will be here and in favor on the left-hand side. So they're going to sniff this out, but they won't invade onto it because, well, the big thing for the side of Old School Boys is finding the experience they need for the next objective, which is a level. And they need to do that quick because they got 20 seconds until that's up and available. And I think it's about, I want to say it's like near 2 minutes for the total channel time on it. So they got about like a minute, or probably a minute and a half realistically at this point to try and work for that 13 talent tier a little bit quicker. Bless Shield comes out, unfortunately max range connects, and they just stand at the front gate. But they do find, they do get really close to actually 13s. I was just not expecting them to do that as quickly as they did. They can't get Drunk Dwarf here. It's Urel. Just, that's the sentence. That's the cast. I was like, maybe, and I was like, no. Joan actually ends up going down in top lane. So, the opposite of what they wanted right there as they dove onto the Joanna, find that. Sweet Buns jumps on to the point, and with a wave and a camp, they're going to push onto the fort. This is looking like it will be fort down in top lane. The question that I now have for the side of Brawl's life, well, maybe it's not. Maybe they don't push onto this too hard. Chromie is rotating up. Oh god, sorry. There's so much happening in chat. I'm trying to read things really quickly, but I can't. Thank you all for hanging out. I really, really love you all. Thanks for supporting these games and chatting and all that good stuff. Anyways, Greymane gets jet propulsion. That's gonna be a temporal loop coming out, but I think Drunk Dwarf and Sweet Buns came into the flank and just harassed enough where they missed all their shots. Eternal Feast does come out, will not actually continue. There is a knockback from Urel. They find the Blaze kill right there. Such a split fight right now as Max is trying to find some sort of flank into this, but this isn't working out for them whatsoever, and they're gonna find a triple kill in favor of the members of Brawl's Life, as they have 77% on this Triglav Protector as well. They're gonna clear out Wave. Garrosh just walks their way onto point, and they get 16 talent here from Wave as well. Whoo! A very good game too, but the members of Brawl's Life are just the momentum they've built in this game right now. It's hard to stop. It's hard to really. Oh, Orphea tried so very hard. Wave won't get it, but it doesn't look like they want Triglav Protector to get it. They're gonna rotate to mid. They're gonna get the fort here, and then maybe prep bottom for control point B phase. C, excuse me. I'm just watching to see what they end up going for here overall. They're starting to fight in this. I think there was a Blessed Shield that did come out from Joanna. Temporal loops up and available. Does go out onto Viv. They have a lot of actually damage that goes out a little early. They actually still get the Ana kill from Sylvanas. And that's going to be Blaze going down to Orphea in bottom lane. Sorry, I was just looking at the top bars. I'm like, who went down in that fight actually? Because it was so back and forth. Chromie, ooh, don't run in a straight line. Well, unless you can run faster than the actual Dragon's Breath itself. Oh, we have a pause. Looks like one of the players DC'd. We'll get them back here in just a second. What do you think of the action? Okay, so now I can read chat a little bit here. Good day, I am Kurisu, a Japanese version of my actual name, Chris. That's my name too! Please take good care of me. A common cautious saying, especially when meeting someone for the first time. Oh, okay. Oh, that's what you had said. That was the sentence that you set up above. Oh, I see, Ektar. Okay. Hey, Langaria, how's it going? Exactly, Kalis. 323. Indeed. How are all my beautiful people in chat? Have you been enjoying the games thus far tonight? I have been. This has been some good game and a half thus far. I need Blizz to patch so Orphea Chomp CDR can get nerfed already. Chomp CDR. Was that the 7, the Insatiable? Hitting a hero with Chomp sets the cooldown to 1.5 seconds. Balance, dude! That's a little short, you know? It's a little short. It's a wee short. Day, let me ask you this, because let me ask chat in general. Can I do purple shirt? Does it work? I don't know. I don't have it. Like I was just like, I saw this and I was like, I'll get one of the Twitch shirts. And I was like, I don't know, I don't have purple anything, so I don't know, like, does it look good? Is this a good thing? Should I do this? Yes? No? Maybe so? Sorry. I think I'll get some burgers for tonight for the girlfriend. Ooh. The beautiful people, the beautiful people. The bee-buttful pea-butts. Peo-butts. Peo-butts. The bee-buttful peo-butts. Okay, thank you, Day. Purple shirt, thank you, Ektar. It's a nice dark color. I wasn't sure, I got nervous, so I threw my sweater on over it, because I don't know. Need to, like, because I had to buy, because, like, I'm this weird size. I'm schmedium. Like, smalls sometimes fit me super good, and sometimes they're just way too small. And mediums sometimes fit me really, really good, and sometimes they're just baggy as all hell. This one's kind of that in-between, where it's like, kind of yes, but no. Purple shirt is regal AF on you. Thank you, Pella. Hold on, we need to make sure that P-Buttful People gets into the Discord channel, so let me copy that in right now. Because we're in a pause currently. We had a DC from a player. Best of Butt Spot. Hello, Mr. Kyle Ferguson. Thank you for the video. Where's Mr. Warwick? Warwick. There's that. This is that. This is this. Alrighty. We are still on pause. Don't promote a brand if they don't pay you. But they do pay me. Twitch does pay me. Kinda. You know? In a sense. They paid out to me. I don't know. I here's the big thing. Like, I own a lot of band t-shirts, and I can't really often go out with, like, a grotesque skull puking out intestines to, like, casual events. So, like, having some casual t-shirts that aren't just, like, giant death metal band like feral dog type despised icon across the top, like kind of, you know, just it looks good sometimes to have some options. That's all. Purple's a good color. I have the purple long sleeve. Just love. You know what I remember? I do have the purple long sleeve of the Heroes of Storm. I rarely wear it on stream. I usually just like I wear it like in the winter. I wear that when I go snowboarding because it's another one of those medium cases where it's a medium, so it's a little bit big on me. So I just wear it when I go snowboarding because it's like just like baggy enough where I can like it's not like hindering to me or like too tight. Why did they pause? Looks like a DC. And I just see, it says, Sylvanas left, PP. I think I'll get some coffee while the game is on pause. There you go, that's a good time for it. Then rock that stuff exactly poorly. Twitch pays you, sell out! I love Kyle Ferguson. Such a sweet man. All right, I got all that done. That's all good. We can hang out here. Twitch doesn't pay Baja. We pay Baja, and Twitch takes a cut. Kappa. There's no Kappa in that. There's no Kappa in that. We all know that's true. But really, we're really just here to sub for Bandit Bark Boxes. That's it. Like, we, honest to God, pretty much, I don't use like sub money from this stream to like I don't go grocery shopping with my sub money. Like, I usually buy Bark Boxes for Bandit, or it does pay my internet bill. I will say that because we have to pay for business internet to be able to stream. So you're saying he should wear a shirt with us on it? Wait, what? Yes. Yeah. No. Absolutely. All right. Get the community to do a composite of all their faces, and then put it on a shirt, and I'll wear it. I'm dead serious. He's coming back or stuck at DMV. Oh. There's like this constant noise in the background. It's like slightly bothering me. If it's bothering all of you, I can actually pause, or I can mute the game. I think. BarkBox facts, yeah. Yeah, I don't use stream money for personal things. Like, I don't go get tattoos with them or anything like that. Like, because of all you, I was able to like afford a new monitor. Like, I finally got a new monitor that was actually like proper. Dax, holy crap! Thank you so much for the 7 months.
Subscribe.
Business internet.
Business internet, yes. I will send you a shirt with my face on it. I'll wear it on stream. I used to go snowboarding until I got banned from my local mountain for doing a backflip off a clip that was taped off. All right, poorly plays. As someone who was a snowboard instructor for over a decade, I'll tell you this: you broke one mountain rule, and then you broke one essentially like national rule, and then like one like the national rule is like the responsibility code, because the responsibility code states that you will never go outside of areas that are marked outside of bounds. So that's technically like a national and a mountain rule. So that's like one rule. And then you did an inverted aerial trick, which most local mountains, at least every single local mountain in Metro Detroit where I grew up, if you did an aerial, an inverted aerial, you'd have your pass removed. Unless you were buddy-buddy with the people in the park who saw it and they would just be like, sick, bro. So yeah, I'm not surprised they banned you, but like also at the same time, like pretty sick. I will say that. Like if you can land a backflip or a front flip, do it. All right, I think we're going. I think we're finally back in the game. Alrighty, everybody, on the left-hand side, we got the members of Brawl's Life, and on the right is Old School Boys. We do have our Trig Glove Protector. This was from Control Point C, if I'm not mistaken. No, we're 11 minutes in the game. That's not... Wait, is it possible? Well, I don't know, because they're level 17. No, it's 15-4 in kills. It's Control Point B, actually. They rotated this down into bottom lane. I now remember properly. They skipped over this mid lane for it, and I was just like, I wonder what they're going for. And I was going to talk about top lane keep, potentially, but either way, everybody's back. Everybody's here, and we are ready to go, as the Trig Glove Protector does actually end right there, due to the fact that it basically just ran out of time. Didn't actually lose its entire health bar. Double backflip with a twist right into the slam. Oh, no. That's a lot of damage coming out, as that is Chromie just dumping out the sand. So many members get low. Ardent Defender was used to save, and that's a huge time strap, and it kind of saves Garrosh there for a second. Eternal Feast does go out, does get 1 or 2 ticks. I think it only got 1 of value. Ryokai is going to be coming out here, getting a big old chomp with the nano boost as well. Another chomp coming out, and they need to watch out for these chomps, because they just get these resets, and Rio doesn't find any sort of kill. Time trap on the Chromie. They did go into, it looks like, something sickness, I think? No, time troubles, where it gives you armor for the friendly members and armor reduction for the enemy heroes that are hit by that. But very well played back and forth. Garrosh and Orphea to go down for a Blaze, and I'll say this is the first time the Old School Boys are starting to build some momentum in their favor here. Chromie did finish out once again the first time. Just let's catch up on some of these questing talents we might have missed out. We do have 14 out of 15 stacks on the Warbreaker for the Garrosh. And we have 12 out of the 30 on the Fetid Touch for that Stukov. While they grab this camp, I'm actually going to use this time to grab water, so I can actually continue to cast the game for all of you. Time trap onto 1, excuse me, temporal loop onto 1. Sweet Bun's taking a lot of damage. They're going to be fine right there, though. And we just have camp mounting in top lane. So I think this is a bit of a lull before either they're going to look for 20s and then a fight, or they're just going to be looking for a fight up until 20. Metro Detroit, so you know what it means when which is better, Brighton or Alpine. I worked for a ski school that did Alpine, Brighton, Pine Knob. Wait, Alpine, Holly, Pine Knob, and Brighton. We stopped going to Brighton, we stopped going to Alpine, and then I ended up working for Alpine for a little bit. Brighton's better, mostly just because they were one of the few places that actually had good grooming. And also Vale invested money into them too. I don't know. I like Pine Knob overall the best. Still, we don't have to talk about ski resorts. We can talk about the control point that's going to be opening up. Actually, it is control point C. Okay, so yeah, no, I was right beforehand. Like, I started doubting myself. I was like, was it control point C that we just had? No, it was control point B earlier when we came off the pause. A lot of damage going to be coming out right there, and that's a triple kill in favor for the members of Brawl's Life, as they might be looking for a 4th Silence going to go down. That is Garrosh finishing out their level 1 questing talent, and just in time for it, as they are going to step in through mid lane. They're going to be opening this front wall up, but do they end? That's a bot Sylph, is it? I might have missed that. I don't know if they continued with a bot or not. I don't know what the ruling was. I'm just here to kind of cast. Not so much an admin, so it's just like, all right, we're going. They find the Blaze kill right there, and they're going to move in through this keep. The positioning from Drunk Dwarf, at least, and as well as Death Strikes, is just showing me that they want to end this game. And they could go for Trig Glove Protector, but well, let's see. Sylvanas, is she bot? Yeah, she is bot. She's being pinged right now. That's unfortunate. I think they might have had to make the call based on the DC time, or they might have DC'd again. They just said we're going to continue playing. Eternal Feast going to be coming out from the Orpheus right there. Going to get 2-3 ticks out from that. Sylvanas is going to be leashing back towards the Hall of Storms. Drunk Dwarf finds the Goomba Stomp onto them, and they'll be going down. So is Silent as well. Greymane Encore, Ana going to be auto-attacking as well, and it looks like this will be game number 2 over to the side of Brawl's Life. They go on in the bracket, knocking out Old School Boys. GG!